Tom, thank you very much. So with regard to the trip that we'll be taking from here, going on to Saudi Arabia and to Egypt, the purpose is multifold. It's of course to push for an agreement on a ceasefire and the release of hostages. As you know, we're intensely engaged on that every single day, and we're doing everything we can to push that forward and to reach an agreement. But it is also to continue the conversations that we started back in January on exactly the question you raised, which is post-conflict Gaza and the arrangements that will need to be made to provide for its governance, for its security, for humanitarian assistance, for its redevelopment. We've been doing a lot of work since January, particularly with our Arab partners, and we'll be pursuing those conversations, as well as discussing what is the right architecture for lasting regional peace. There too, a lot of work has been ongoing in the last weeks and last months. So that's exactly what we'll be doing there. Beyond that, I can say we've also impressed upon Israel the imperative of having a plan for Gaza for when the conflict ends, which we hope will be as soon as possible, consistent with Israel's needs to defend itself and make sure that October 7th can never happen again. There, as you know, we put out many months ago a number of principles in Tokyo regarding the future of Gaza. We stand by those principles, and the challenge now is to make sure that any plan for the future brings them to light. But that will be very much the focus of this visit. Now, at the same time, as you mentioned, we continue to face a horrific humanitarian situation for children, for women, for men in Gaza. In the first instance, of course, this is something brought about by Hamas, by its actions on October 7th, and by its actions ever since. This could have, as I've said repeatedly, been over many months ago if Hamas had put down its arms, stopped hiding behind civilians, released the hostages, and the world has been relatively silent on that ever since. But as we've said from day one, it is also absolutely incumbent on Israel, as it acts to defend itself and prevent October 7th from happening again, to make it a priority to protect civilians, those who are caught in harm's way, and to provide for those who desperately need humanitarian assistance. And this is something that we've worked on one way or another virtually every day since. If you look at some of the assessments that we're seeing now, they only underscore the urgency of making sure that this assistance is a priority and that it's sustained. Again, according to the most respected measure of these things, 100% of the population in Gaza is at severe levels of acute food insecurity. That's the first time an entire population has been so classified. We also see, again, according to, in this case, the United Nations, 100%, the totality of the population is in need of humanitarian assistance. Compare that to Sudan, about 80% of the population there is in need of humanitarian assistance. Afghanistan, about 70%. So again, this only underscores both the urgency, the imperative of making this the priority. We've seen positive actions in the last couple of weeks, including the opening of a new access point that's allowing aid to go both north and south, the increase in the flow of traffic from Jordan into Kerem Shalom, the beginnings of the establishment of a maritime corridor led by the United States, and a number of other places where there's been improvement. Trucks getting to the north for the first time in a long time. But we need more, we need it to be sustained, and we need it to be a priority if we're going to effectively address the needs of people. So that also remains very much a part, the central part of our conversations.